If you enable refunds or transfers, then RunSignUp will keep some of your race funds in reserve in order to pay for potential refunds until the race is completed. This reserve will be equal to 5 times the price of your most expensive race fee. For instance, if your most expensive race fee was $25, then if you were to enable refunds or transfers on your race, your default refund reserve amount would be 5 times $25, which is $125. The money for the refund reserve is taken out automatically each night, or as needed for refunds and transfers, throughout the day. Please note that all of the money in the refund reserve will be paid out to your race after the completion of the last event in your race. If your race does not have refunds or transfers enabled, then the default refund reserve amount will be $0. If you would like to add more of your race funds to the refund reserve, in addition to whatever your race's default amount for the refund reserve is, then you can do so from the race dashboard. To easily jump to this feature's dashboard setup page, simply begin typing reserve into the search bar of the dashboard. After you have typed in at least 3 letters, search results will begin to show below the box. Select Refund Reserve from those listed below, and you will be brought directly to the setup page for the Refund Reserve. You can also find this feature manually by going to the Participants tab, clicking on Participant Management, and opening up the section for Refund Reserve. Before adding money to your refund reserve, it is very important to note that RunSignUp charges a $1 refund processing fee for each refund that is issued through the site. Please remember to factor in this expense when adding money to your refund reserve. This tutorial will cover adding race funds to the refund reserve, adding to the refund reserve from another race, adding to the refund reserve by credit card, adding to the refund reserve by check, and releasing your refund reserve. Adding race funds to the refund reserve. Once on the refund reserve page, you can use the additional refund reserve box to add to the amount of money that is already being withheld from your race payments. Please note that if you have refunds or transfers enabled for your race, then the additional refund reserve amount will be in addition to the default refund reserve amount, which is 5 times the amount of your most expensive race fee. For instance, if you have refunds and transfers enabled, and your most expensive race fee is $25, then the refund reserve will automatically be set to 5 times $25, which is $125. If you then set the additional refund reserve to $100, then your refund reserve will be set to refill to $225 whenever the funds in the reserve drop below this amount. After setting this field, be sure to click on Save Settings, and you will receive confirmation that your refund reserve settings have been updated. It is important to note that if you are using race funds to fill up your refund reserve, then only incoming transactions can be added to the refund reserve. Any race funds that have been collected through RunSignUp before your refund reserve needs to refill will not be able to be used to refill your refund reserve. If you picture your incoming transactions as going down a slide, then there is an open space in the slide that first fills up with your incoming transactions. This is your refund reserve. Once the open space has filled up, then the incoming transactions can continue down the slide into your race bank. If money is then used from your refund reserve for issuing a refund, or if money is then released from your refund reserve to go into your race bank, then any incoming transactions will again begin to refill the refund reserve. However, funds are not able to move back up the slide, so funds located in your race bank are not able to be sent back up to the refund reserve. For this reason, if you are not going to be having any more incoming transactions for your race, then you will need to use one of the upcoming options for adding to your refund reserve, either from another one of your races that shares a payment account, by credit card, or by check. It is important to note that incoming funds cannot start to go down this slide until after they have settled. So if your race has incoming funds, and your refund reserve is not yet filling up, then this is because the incoming funds have not yet been settled. It is also important to note that incoming funds will only settle on non-holiday banking business days. Adding to the refund reserve from another race. If you have other races on RunSignUp which share the payment account associated with this race, then you can transfer money from one of those races into this one's refund reserve. Please note that you will only be able to view and use this feature if you have other races on RunSignUp which share the same payment account. If the option for transfer money from other races is available to you, then click on the link that says "Click here to start the transfer process." Here you will find a list of all of your races which share the same payment account as this race, as well as an approximate amount available for transferring. select the race that you would like to transfer money from, and then enter in the amount that you would like to transfer out of that race and into this one. Once you have the information filled out and you are ready to make the transfer, click on the button for Transfer Money. You will then receive confirmation that the funds have been transferred, and you will be able to see that this amount has been added to your current refund reserve. Adding to the refund reserve by credit card. If all of your race funds are paid out to you, and you are not expecting to receive any more race funds, then setting up a refund reserve using race funds will not allow the refund reserve to fill up because there will be no incoming race funds to pull in money from. In this instance, you can add money to the refund reserve by credit card. To begin, simply click on the button for Add to Refund Reserve by credit card. Please note that this feature allows you to do one-time additions to the refund reserve, and your card will not be automatically charged to refill the refund reserve once the reserve has been depleted. Of course, you will be able to add to the refund reserve by credit card as many times as you would like. Enter in the amount that you would like to add to your refund reserve in the box provided. As mentioned previously, it is very important to note that RunSignUp charges a $1 refund processing fee for each refund that is issued through the site. Please remember to factor in this expense when adding money to your refund reserve. Once you have the amount to add to refund reserve entered in, then click on the button for Continue. On the next page, you will see a section for Total Payment. In this section, you will be shown the sum of the amount that you have decided to add to the refund reserve and the processing fee associated with that transaction. Please note that if you do not want to pay the processing fee that is needed when adding money to your refund reserve by credit card, then you can always add money to your refund reserve by check, as is explained in the next section of this tutorial. Next, enter in your credit card information, and then click Continue. You will then receive confirmation that your payment has been accepted and that the refund reserve has been updated. You can view this update by going again to the Participants tab, followed by Participant Management, and then Refund Reserve. Here you will be able to see the additional funds in the section for Current Race Refund Reserve. Adding to the refund reserve by check. If all of your race funds are paid out to you, and you are not expecting to receive any more race funds, then setting up a refund reserve using race funds will not allow the refund reserve to fill up because there will be no incoming race funds to pull in money from. In this instance, you do have the option to add money to your refund reserve by credit card. However, you will need to pay a processing fee on this transaction. If you have no incoming race funds to add to your refund reserve, and you do not want to pay the processing fee which is needed for adding to the refund reserve by credit card, then you can mail in a check to RunSignUp for us to add to your refund reserve. If you would like to add funds to your refund reserve by way of a mailed check, then please contact finance@runsignup.com and we will respond with instructions on how to do so. Releasing your refund reserve. If your race currently has money in its refund reserve, then you will find a section on the refund reserve page for release part of the refund reserve. Here you will be able to enter in the amount of the current race refund reserve which you would like to release, and please note that the amount entered into the release field cannot be greater than the amount of the current race refund reserve. Also, it is very important to note that if you release more than the hold amount, then the amount that you release now may be added back into your refund reserve when the refund reserve refills. For instance, if the current race refund reserve is $460, and if your hold amount is set to $450, then if you release $40, then the amount of the current race refund reserve will go down to $420. However, since the current amount would then be $420, which is $30 less than the hold amount of $450, then when the refund reserve refills again, it will reclaim $30 of the $40 that you just released in order to meet the specified hold amount. Once you have this amount entered in, then you can click on the button labeled Release, and you will then receive confirmation that the specified amount has been released from the refund reserve. A written instruction manual is also available for this topic and can be viewed in the How To section of RunSignUp.